This project is supported by Quantum Paradigm.
All right, let's dive into this really powerful idea from a book called Zero Resistance Selling. It asks a simple but kind of shocking question. What if the biggest thing holding you back in your career or your life really isn't the market, it isn't your product, and it's definitely not your clients? What if it's all happening inside your own head? I mean, does this sound familiar to you? That little voice in your head starts chirping, "Oh, it's 10 a.m. They're probably way too busy." Then it's 11. They're all heading out for lunch. Before you know it, it's 3:30 in the afternoon and you're like, well, guess I'll just get prepped for a super early start tomorrow. We've all been there. It's that classic procrastination script. You know exactly what you need to do, but this internal lawyer just presents an ironclad case for doing anything else. So why does this happen? Why do we actively sabotage ourselves when our goals, our ambitions are screaming at us to go in the complete opposite direction? Well, the answer, it's a lot deeper than just laziness or lack of willpower. And that brings us right into what the book calls the procrastination trap. The big idea here, and this is crucial, is that this constant pushing things off, it's not a character flaw. You're not lazy. It's actually a symptom, a signpost pointing to something much bigger going on inside. See that feeling of resistance? It's basically a civil war happening inside your head. On one side, you've got your conscious mind, your goals, right? You want to hit that target. You want to make that sale. But on the other side, you've got this deep subconscious picture of who you really think you are. And when those two things don't line up, that's when you get this massive internal conflict, this turmoil that just drains your energy. So where does that turmoil come from? Well, it turns out there's this hidden blueprint, this inner program that's running the show from behind the curtain. And that blueprint is your self-image. It's the real source of all those self-sabotaging behaviors. It's basically the master controller for your entire life. And this whole concept came from a pretty unexpected place, actually. A plastic surgeon named Dr. Maxwell Maltz. He started noticing something really strange. He'd perform a perfect operation, fix whatever the person came in for. But some of his patients, they would still see the exact same flaw in the mirror, and it hit him. We all carry this invisible picture of ourselves, this self-image. It's built out of everything we've ever heard, learned, or experienced about ourselves, and it literally sets the boundaries for what we think is possible in our lives. And this right here, this is that battle in action. Your conscious ambition is yelling, "Let's go, make the call, close that deal." But your self-image steps in like this well-meaning but totally misguided bodyguard. It's trying to protect you from the potential pain of rejection or failure. So it grabs you by the collar and says, whoa, 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 nope, that's not for people like us. It's way too risky. Let's just stay here where it's safe. Okay, there's this fantastic story in the book that just nails this idea. It's about a guy named Bill. And Bill was absolutely convinced he was the clumsiest person on the planet. He couldn't hammer a nail straight, couldn't catch a ball. His wife even joked about it. And the reason in his mind he believed he had short, stubby fingers. That was his story, his self-image. Bill, the clumsy guy with stubby fingers. And it literally defined his reality. So he goes away and starts working on this internal blueprint, his self-image. And get this, months later he comes back and he's holding this ridiculously complex hand-built model of a sailing ship. We're talking intricate rigging, tiny little details, just incredible craftsmanship. And here's the kicker. The whole stubby fingers thing, it was completely made up. It was a false belief. The second he shattered that old story, his actual real potential was just unleashed. Okay, here's maybe the best analogy for this in the entire book. Think of your self-image as a thermostat. Let's say it's set to 70 degrees of success. Your whole internal system is designed to keep you right there. You might have an amazing month and hit 75, but what happens? You'll unconsciously find a way to mess things up just enough to bring yourself right back down to 70. The only way to permanently achieve more is to go in and consciously raise the setting on that thermostat. Working harder won't do it. So the big question is, how in the world do you actually change that setting? Well, the book lays out this incredibly powerful technique called mental rehearsal. And you do it in a special place it calls the theater of the mind. Now, this is the secret sauce. It's based on a wild psychological fact. Your nervous system, your subconscious mind, it literally cannot tell the difference between a real experience and an experience that you imagine vividly and repeatedly. Let me say that again. It can't tell the difference. We're here to make your vision a reality, delivering results that stand the test of time. So by creating these mental movies where you succeed, you're essentially installing new positive memories for your self-image to draw on. You're giving it new evidence of who you are. So here's how you actually do it. Step 1, you build your own private movie theater in your head. I mean, really build it. See the plush seats, the giant screen. Step 2, you become the writer, director, and star of your own blockbuster movie. You're the hero, and you are performing perfectly, nailing that presentation, closing that deal. Make it as real as possible. What colors do you see? What sounds do you hear? And most importantly, what does that success feel like? And then step 3, you watch the movie. Then you step into the movie and experience it in first person. Then you sit back in your seat and you play that highlight reel again and again. And look, this isn't some wacky feel-good idea. This is a proven technique used by the best of the best. Top athletes visualize the perfect race or shot 1,000 times before they ever compete. Surgeons mentally walk through complex operations. Famous trial lawyers like Jerry Spence would rehearse their closing arguments in their mind's theater until it was absolutely flawless. Peak performers in every field do this. Okay, so once you start changing that inner world, it completely changes how you see the outer world. And that brings us to one of the biggest fears for anyone in sales, getting objections. The book offers a radical and honestly game-changing way to reframe what an objection even is. Think about it. When a customer raises an objection, are they really putting up a wall? Are they actually telling you no? Or could it be something else entirely? Here's the mindset shift. Stop seeing sales as a conflict. It's not you versus them. You have to see it as a partnership. You and your client are on the same team, working together on a mission to solve their problem. You're collaborators, not combatants. And here's a brilliant way to picture this. Think of it like an Easter egg hunt when you were a kid. An objection isn't the customer saying, "Game over." It's them shouting clues at you. They're yelling, "You're getting warmer." "Ooh, now you're colder." "Getting warmer." "Hot." They are literally giving you directions to help you find the prize. It's exactly like this quote says. When a customer gives you an objection, they're not blocking you. They're shouting out clues to help you find your way through this invisible maze to get to the treasure. And that treasure, of course, is the solution that makes both of you happy. So how do we tie all of this together? What's the practical day-to-day thing you can do? It all boils down to one thing, taking conscious control of that constant inner dialogue that's running in your head 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Because once you really get this stuff, once you understand your inner blueprint and what objections really are, that resistance that used to feel like a brick wall, suddenly it feels more like a stick of cold butter, and you're holding a heated knife ready to slice right through it. And here's your simple 3-step daily practice. It's super powerful. First, the second you feel that resistance, that hesitation, stop. Just stop and ask, what's the negative thought I'm believing right now? Second, challenge it. Is this thought actually true? Is it based on hard facts? Or is it just an old bogus story like Bill's stubby fingers? And third, replace it. Consciously, deliberately choose a new empowering thought and repeat it to yourself. Install the new software. Because ultimately, it all comes down to this one powerful truth. You simply cannot consistently outperform your own self-image. It's impossible. Your outer world will always eventually match your inner world. So the real work, the most important work you can do, happens inside, in that theater of your mind. That's where you become the person you want to be first. The most liberating part of all this is realizing your self-image isn't permanent. It's not carved in stone. It's not even who you are. It's just a movie that you've probably had playing on a loop for years. So the real question is this: since you're the director, what movie are you going to choose to play next?